Hi everyone, my name is David and today I'm going to be showing you how to use the Configured General feature in Audio Project Manager. This is the function that you would use if you want to divide a recording into multiple sections or passages. So let's get into this demonstration. We're going to be using the book of Jonah. The Configured General feature is in the Setup and Internalization step of workflow, so let's open up the workflow for this first passage. When you click Add, 4 different options appear. The first one is how you upload resources from your computer to the internalization step. You'll notice that the last option, Configured General, is faded out, and that's because we haven't uploaded any general resources yet. First, you have to upload them and then you could configure them. So let's go ahead and add some general resources. First, we have to navigate to the file that you want to use. Here I have a chapter recording of Jonah 1 in the NLT. So I'm going to upload that. And then you'll need to add a description and categorize the resource. Next, I need to specify where I want this resource to go. I'm going to add it as a general resource so that I'll be able to add it to whichever sections or passages I want. After I click upload, this dialog box automatically appears, and this is where I can actually configure the resource that I'm uploading. I could decide exactly which sections and passages it should apply to. If you don't want to complete this step immediately, you could get back to it later by clicking the Configured General button. And here's how you do that. First, I'm going to close out the window. And now I'll click Add. And you'll notice that the Configured General button isn't faded out anymore. So I'll go ahead and click that. And now I could view all of the general resources that I've uploaded. And now, after I click that resource, I'm back to that same window. So I'm going to apply this recording to all of the passages in Jonah 1. As you can see, Jonah chapter 1 is separated into 3 different passages, and together they make up one section. Now I'm in the Chunk into Resources panel, and this is the tool that I'll use to actually divide the recording into the different passages. You can see the WAV file up at the top, and now I'm going to play the first few seconds.
Jonah, chapter 1. Jonah runs from the Lord. The Lord gave this message to Jonah, son of Amittai. Get up and go to the great city of Nineveh. Announce my judgment against it, because I have seen how wicked its people are.
Okay, and I'll stop it right there. That's at the end of verse 2, and this is the end of my first passage. So I need to add a boundary here. To do that, all you need to do is click the plus icon here up at the top. And once I do that, a boundary appears. If I want to remove that boundary, all I have to do is click that button again. If I want to fast forward, I can fast forward by 2 seconds by clicking this button, or I can click the other button to rewind. By clicking this button, I could go to the end of the recording, and now that I'm at the end of the recording, I'm going to add another boundary. I know that I need a boundary right here, so I'm going to select this area, and then this time I'm going to double click to add a boundary. That's another way that you could add boundaries on APM when you're chunking. Now, if you scroll down, you'll notice that there's a table with timestamps for all of the different passages that I've added. If I want to copy those into another document, I just have to click this button. And now I'm going to go back to the beginning of the recording. I'm going to click this arrow, and that'll take me back to the previous segment that I've made. So this will take me back to my last boundary, and once I click this button, it'll automatically play the recording. And so I'm going to go back, and then I'll add a few boundaries and show you another way that you can remove boundaries.
Got up and went in the opposite direction to get away from the Lord. He went down to the port of Joppa, where he found a ship leaving for Tarshish. He bought a ticket and...
Okay, and now I'm going to remove these boundaries by clicking this remove button right here. And the way it works is you need to select before the boundary you want to remove and then just click the remove button. It's important to remember that you don't actually select the boundaries. So here, even though it looks like I'm clicking the boundary, the cursor is slightly to the right of it. So when I click the delete button, it will delete the middle boundary, not the one that my cursor is almost touching. Okay, so now I will remove those other boundaries. And now we'll create resources. So this will actually divide the recording like I've specified. Once I click that button, you'll notice that there's two resources in this passage. The first one is a section recording, and for our purposes, that's the entire recording. And you know that it's for the first section because of the 1 that's right in front. The resource right below it is the part of the recording that applies to the specific passage I'm in right now. Now, after you create a resource, APM automatically renames that resource based on the chapter and verse designation. So it's a good idea to edit resources after you create them and add back any relevant information. So I'm going to edit the section recording and add again that it's in the NLT translation. So now I'll save that. Now, if I click to other passages, you'll notice that they have both the recording for that specific passage, and they also have the section recording. And since I just changed the name of the section recording, that changes the name in all other passages as well.